welcome to Tell Muses. I'm Simona Stambazzi from Italy, and together with Despina Riu from Greece, we are the hosts of this storytelling podcast for storytellers, with storytellers, from storytellers, all about the wonderful art of storytelling and all about stories. And today, Despina and I travel to sunny Morocco to meet the wonderful, the one and only Brahim Daldali. Hi, Brahim. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me today with you. I'm so happy and excited to be with these beautiful ladies.
Oh, thank you very much. You're very kind. So, Brahim, my first question to our tellers always is, can you please tell us and the audience who is Brahim Daldali?
Okay. Brahim Daldali. I'm 38 years old. I came from a small city called Safro near Fez. It was a Jewish city before a long time ago. I'm the youngest in the family. I have 5 sisters. I'm the youngest one. Yeah. So yeah, I grew up in old city. In the old city, as you know, the old city, every woman in the neighbor, it's your mom. We don't have just one mom. I have so many moms. Like I used to have the Berber mom. She was beating me a lot. When I don't want to go to the school, she beating me, and she puts before time ago. Sometimes she puts what's called that spicy in your mouth.
Yeah, Greek grandmothers used to do that to kids, especially when they
that's in the past. That is the if they want to make you scared to go to school, to do that, they make something like that. Yeah, my father passed away when I had just 1 month. When I came for just 1 month, and yeah, I grew up with the women. That I really respect the women and love them a lot. Yeah. After that, I stopped school at the middle school. Yeah, because I think I need to go to have a job to help my sister and my mom. I start also go to the youth center, the Shabab, to learn a little bit of English, playing with the uh, teenager like my age in that time. So, and I start doing like theater in my first time. I started doing some theater with my friend. After I meet a girl, American girl, she invited me to Cafe Clock in Fez. I don't know if you heard about Cafe Clock.
I've heard about it, but I have not been there.
Yes, we have one in Morocco. It's the same Cafe Clock. We have 3 in Morocco, one in Fez, one in Chefchaouen, and one in Marrakesh. So when I go there, I meet my master the first time. I just meet him, he's telling stories, and I really enjoy the storytelling thing, and I really loved him because he has that voice, strong voice, and I don't know how can I explain that, but I really loved him.
What is he called? His name?
Muhammad Mokhlis.
Okay.
God please his soul. He's died before Corona time. Yeah.
I see.
I started with him in 2015 in a Cafe Clock. Yeah. And in that time, Cafe Clock, they are looking for like young people to start learn stories and to be a storyteller there in Cafe Clock. And they asked me if you want to join us because that's American girl. She is working with the program. She's teaching the young storyteller and do some like translated for the stories from Darija to English.
Uh-huh.
I start with him, and I remember the first story. I don't have it in English, but I remember it in Darija. So when I start telling, every 2 minutes, he stand up and he came and hugged me. He said, "You are really professional." Because I'm that person. I like to do something very perfectly. You know, when he gave me the story, I took 3 weeks to prepare this story. Like I wrote it so many times, and I memorize it in my head, and I because I did something. Well, still now I did it. Like when I have like a big show, I go to a place and I try to dream the story in my head.
Nice.
Because when I dream this story, every time I can do it in other way. Like if I tell it today in the way, tomorrow I can do it in other way, because I have it in my, I dream what I need to say. So he like that. And I used have two friend, they work with us. They said, "Oh, معلم, let him finish, let him finish." Because yeah, but so in that time I was enjoy when I tell story. I feel I am the king. I am the king in this story. I am the king, real king. Yeah, because we have a proverbs here in Morocco. Like when storyteller said something, you have to believe him, because all the time we say once upon a time, like in Darija, كان يا مكان, and okay, that's he said the true thing. If you want to believe it, believe it. If you don't, we don't care. But we see something. Some people they told us this story. Maybe they live in that time, maybe not.
There's
Yeah.
this saying that says, all the stories are true, and some of them actually happened.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good one. Yeah. And in that time, it's happened that in Fas and Sidi Hia Al Gharb, close as a city close to Fas, uh, there is another girl. She's working with American program called Peace Corps Volunteer. If you heard about that program, and use invite TEDx. You know TEDx, and they invite me to talk in TEDx about storyteller. In that time, I have nothing to say on storytelling in that time, because I just start. I just start. Yeah, and I talk a little bit about storytelling, about the clues that we use when we tell, like here in Morocco, when we have a show, I do some like jalabs with the hats, with the shoes, with so many things to give the audience that's looks that they want to say, like not just the story but also the clothing. Yeah, and it was really nice in that time. From that time, after 2 years, I start teaching also storytelling in Fas and Marrakesh, between Fas and Marrakesh, because I stop all my thing, and I work 100% as a storyteller. Until now, this is my only job I have.
You know, Simona, first time I told in a school in Marrakesh in 2023, I
Yeah.
was with Alistair and Brahim. But I didn't know who Brahim was. We just met there in the classroom where, not a classroom, in the separate room that the teachers, right? So we were waiting for the class to get ready to make some space for us to work with the kids. And I hadn't met Brahim before. So when I saw him there, he had his little son with him. in a what do you call this? We take kids for a walk. It's a pram? In a pram, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes. And I didn't know him. I asked, "Are you a teacher?" He said, "No, I'm not a teacher." But he was not wearing the storyteller's outfit, so I couldn't tell. And when we started telling, we told to kids who were junior high, like 12, 13-year-olds, and they had not a very good level of English because kids in Morocco start with French as
French, yeah.
second foreign language. And then when they enter junior high, they start learning English. So we did work with them, but it was still kind of awkward because they wouldn't understand everything. They tried, of course. We managed to communicate. And then after me and Alice working with the kids, Brahim went there and started speaking to the kids, doing the storytelling in their own language. And there was this huge sigh of relief in the room. Because finally they could interact. And there was so much interaction with the kids in Brahim telling. It was really nice. I still remember it.
I can imagine. Brahim and I were speaking before we started the interview with him, and he was telling me about how he likes interacting with the audience, a live audience, instead of telling stories online. And that's probably my next question for Brahim. So, Brahim, you told us that you started telling stories with your master storyteller, and that you interact with the audience. So, I was wondering if you could tell us something about the background of storytelling in Morocco, so the tradition of storytelling in Morocco. So master storytellers, what are master storytellers for people who are not familiar with the concept, and how you interact with an audience when you're telling stories?
Okay. So, as so many people know, here in Marrakesh, we have Jami' al-Fna Square. Jami' al-Fna Square, it's famous about storyteller circle. You find a person or a dancer or a singer saying something and people gathering around him. Before a long time, it was in Fas, in Bab al-Makina. Bab al-Makina, it's also like Jami' al-Fna Square. And people like my master, he used to have also a storyteller master before he starts, where they came for the stories because they travel a lot. They travel and they meet people, and that's give him a story, and that give him something, and some of them they go to school, they know how to read. They read stories like 1000 Nights and Saif Dulyazan, like this story, they read it. And they try to memorize them and to train themselves, to train their voice, to go to to Jami' al-Fna Square or to Fas, or they travel there is Wajda also, they have a big square, and they start it's not shouting but calling. They call it some prayers, if you want to say. I'm going to tell you how they start. They start بسم الله والصلاة على رسول الله فال وبركة ولله الحمد، نكتر في الحمد سيدي ربي سبحانه، ألف داير صليوا على رسول الله. And the people, when they start hearing that, they know something it's going to happen in that place, and they start coming from here and there and there, and they gather around him.
So
and they start.
So this thing they call out to people to gather them around, what does it mean? What is the calling?
Actually, we call it al-Fatiha.
Uh-huh.
If you want to say, it's the opening
It's always the same.
Yeah, it's always the same. That
see.
every storyteller, every master, he has his fatha. Like I have one, Zuhir has one, another one. It's not the same fatha we have it.
So you have
because
to
also,
create your own calling.
yeah, also it's about Islam, because we say like Bismillah and Salat ala Rasulullah. We have, yeah, and when we start, like once upon a time, the region once upon a time, maybe we take 5 minutes to say just once upon a time. Yeah. It's we have a long thing. We see like the poise, like little by little to let people give them a little bit time to make places. If they want to stay in the ground, people just hearing, someone just seeing people gathering around, and he say, I need to go to see what's happened there. So he gave people a little bit time. And then when he starts, everyone shut and listening to him. And time to time, like in the middle of the story, he said, like he invites them in the story to be a part of the story. And everyone, he said, Allahumma salli alayka Rasulullah. The answer, like he said something and they also answered them. That's why I tell you I like to be with the people because you see it's active. It's active, and you feel like
school. I remember
you
you
feel
telling something to the kids, and then the
Yeah.
kids responded back, and then again you would tell them something, they would respond back.
Yeah, and this is I think this is in everywhere. Like if I ask Spina, you have something also, like sometimes you see something and people answering back. It's same
like
thing.
what the Caribbeans they do in the Caribbean. The Caribbean tell us they have this creek, and the audience says crack.
Yeah, creek crack,
Something like
creek
that.
crack. Yeah, like that. Yeah, but we have if you want Islamic one. Islamic one, yeah. So yeah, when you say their smile and when you say their joy in their face, you stopped and you say, we are going to stop the story here. If you want to listen my story and I finish your story, please come tomorrow. But before you go, you have to pay. You can pay the much that you want, and definitely they are going to come tomorrow.
So you stop at a cliffhanger, like when people are in suspense, they want to know what happens next. Yes.
Yeah. So you trick them.
It's a very good technique.
Yeah.
It's like in the Arabian Nights. So
Yeah.
Shahrazad, she stops
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah, the same thing. Like my master, I have I think you know him, Dispina. He was in the festival. Muhammad Mukhlis is a very old man here in Marrakesh. He tell me he was in Wujda and he was telling in square about someone. I don't remember which story he told, but he said the hero of the story, they take him to the prison, and someone he was using. He was in his story. He starts feeling ill because the hero is in the prison, and their children, they came to my master and they said, our father, he don't want to eat, he don't want to sleep because you tell him that story, the hero is in the prison and he believe he's still in the prison. And he say, you have to let him out from the prison, please. So it's yeah, that's the professional storyteller. He need to have that.
Yes.
If I tell you the story, you have to believe me. You have to see that is true. Actually, I'm not that professional because I'm still young. I'm still young.
Of course, of course.
I need I
We're
need more time
learning.
to learn about storytelling, about the voice, about yeah, lots of things. And also I need to learn more stories.
We never stop learning, right?
Yeah.
Never. I don't know. I did see one of the masters tell in the World Storytelling Cafe. I don't know if it was your master. It was a very tall
Yeah,
guy.
that's one. Yeah, that's one.
Oh,
That's
he
one.
was very
Actually,
impressive.
actually, I have three masters. One, the first one, I start with him in Fez. God bless his soul. And we have another two here in Marrakech. Mohammed Mukhlis, Mohammed Mukhlis, the first one. Mohammed Bariz, and Abdurrahim Al-Azaliya, or Abdurrahim Al-Muqri.
Uh-huh.
He's a very old man. So right now we don't have enough storyteller, the master of storyteller, because every year we lost one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is sad thing.
Indeed, I do remember his telling because I was engaged in his storytelling, even though I did not understand the language. But he was so passionate in his telling. I knew when he was the king and he was ordering people, even though I didn't understand a word of Arabic. I knew it was the soldiers that were going to arrest somebody, and I could see the old man working. You know, I could see the different characters in his story. But of course, I missed the story, which is a shame. And I remember, do you know what impressed me, Brahim? I was very impressed by the respect the students had for the teacher. I remember when he was done and it was their turn to tell, they would first go and kiss his hand, like take his blessing, and then they would tell the story.
Of course, we did that. we have a proverb also in that's just for storyteller. We said, "Sheikh bla sheikh, وخا يعمر جبحو خاوي." Like a master of storyteller, if they don't have a master also, as much as he has the story, he's empty. The master of storyteller, if he don't has also a master, as much as he has stories, he's empty. He has nothing.
Unless you have a master, you don't have the stories. I see what you're saying now.
You should have a master.
Yes, like a mentor.
Here in Morocco, everyone has a master. Like storyteller, we should have a master.
Yes.
Do also masters have masters?
Yes. So like me, like me now, if you ask me, who is your master? I'm going to tell you 3 name or 4 name. But if you ask my masters, they tell you so many names. Because every master, he don't give you stories. He give you the way how to live as a storyteller. Because stories, you can find them. You can find it in the book, YouTube channel, in so many places, meeting people. But to be a real storyteller, you need a master.
I think that what you get from the masters is not stories, it is the heart you put in the story.
Yeah. As you know, Despina, the storyteller in the world, they don't have so much money.
Yes, of course.
They are not rich people. You know that. So but they don't care. They don't care. They don't care about money, about the take.
Yeah. I remember reading a book by Richard Hamilton before
Yeah.
the international festival started to take place there, because he had met several storytellers. Marrakesh, in particular, is like the cradle of storytelling. It's where it was born, supposedly. And the master storytellers of the past, he met with some, he got some of their tales, but they, as you said, they were slowly dying one after another. And it was really sad to read this book, because it seemed that the art was in decline. It was not getting enough people's attention. I think that the work that Mike and Lucy Wood did there in Marrakesh with the World Storytelling Cafe first, and the international festivals that happen this next year in 2025, it's going to be the third one, are attracting people's attention, and that they have managed to rekindle people's interest. So you have more storytellers now of the younger generation. Is so?
So we like, if you, me and Zuhu right now, we work about to have a new generation. Like right now, I'm working with a group of you younger in Fez, because we want to have the new generation to tell stories, not just in Darija, but we try to have French, English, Spanish, because we want to share as much as we can with everybody. It's a little bit difficult, because when we ask people to work with us, when they came, they don't say like, in that meeting there is the money, so they stop. But we try to make like to find a good market for the old storyteller, and also for the new generation, to have like equality, like like chance to work together. Because if we don't have enough money to pay the old storyteller to come to teach, they can't, because they are really old. They have so many problems in their body. You need to pay them for their transport, for medication, for the lots of things. And right now we don't have all of that. But we try, as Despina, she said, with Mike and Lucine World Storytelling Cafe, they did a great thing. Like Zuhir with the union, storytelling union, he did a lot of beautiful thing with those people. And right now we have a project called Tales Across Borders. We work every month. We have a group of storytellers come from another country, so to tell their story. And also they give us like a workshop, because every country, they have their way, so we learn from everyone right now.
That's awesome. When you started telling us about your first teacher and the first story that you told, and then he came and hugged you in the end, I was so expecting to have this story from you, but you said you don't have it in English.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that.
But I'm sure you will have some story in English you'd like to share.
Of course, yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
So I know how to say "Kan je makan."
Can you makan? Okay. So before, let's place our meeting today. بسم الله والصلاة على رسول الله، فال وبركة وعز ولله الحمد. نكتر في الحمد لسيدي ربي سبحانه. يا المسلمين صلوا على رسول الله. كان يا مكان حتى كان الحبوق والسوسان بحجر نبينا العدنان، علي أزكى سلام وأزكى تحية. حتى كان الحديث ليه إفادة والهضرة بلا زيادة، والحياة والحشمة قلادة وهذه هي السعادة. واللي خالف العادة يتعادى، حتى كان الشيخ اللي رضع البديخ، الحلوة نحلي بها والبصلة الله يهنيها. حتى كانت الشمعة والقنديل طلعت ما الله من الليل، والليل طويل يجود علينا بأنواره ويكشف علينا أسراره، ويعطينا شوية شوية من اللوقات المنسية. حتى كانت الودانية تسمع ما يقولوا لينا وحنا نقولوا له الراوي غير زيدنا حكاية مور حكاية، حلوة زوينة غاية. واللي رصاو كمل عقلو ما خسر خاطره له، هذاك ماما رضات عليه وبابا يتهلا فيه وربي يعطيه ويغنيه وما يغلب الزمان عليه. So this is the short form of Once Upon a Time. يلا. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, there was a family with 8 children, 7 sons and 1 daughter named Aisha. She was the youngest and the most cherished child in the family. One day, her father and mother drowned in the flooding river while trying to save a cow. Afterward, her brothers took care of her and provided her for everything she needed. They rebuilt the house in case something happened to her, and put locks on 7 doors whenever they went out hunting or working on the land. She felt burned, but immediately they found a beautiful cat to keep her company. She named it Minouche. Almost immediately, they talked to each other and became the best of friends. To sell their friendship, they swore to share everything and never betray one another. The brothers were very happy to see their sister and the cat on such a good terms. Aisha no longer complained of burden or loneliness, even when her brother were out the whole day in the work. So they are sure she was safe with the cat there, but they still locked all 7 doors behind them. One day they decided to travel far away on business. They took every possible precaution to leave their sister in a safe house. They brought her all the provisions she would need during the long absence, that she would not need to go out. Early one morning, they woke up and embraced her fondly and said farewell both to her and to her companion. And then they closed the door and departed. Days passed, and Aisha and Minouche were happy together. Aisha cleaned the house and prepared the meals that she shared with the cat there. Everything was going well perfectly. Well, until Aisha came across a chickpea while sweeping the floor. Aisha picked the chickpea and whipped it in her dress. Minouche raised her head and asked for her share. But Aisha was greedy and ate it all. The cat was angry and she pretended that she got to sleep. But later in the day, while Aisha was busy kneading flour to make bread, the cat slipped into the kitchen and passed on the box of matches. Then went back to sleep. When night fell, Aisha went to the kitchen to make the fire and heat the food. But much to her disappointment, she discovered the matches are soaking wet. Oh, Minouche, she turned into the cat. The matches are soaking wet. What can we do? The cat acted surprised. Well, why don't you go? The cat said. Meow, 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 meow. The cat said, why don't you go and borrow some matches from a neighbor? So Aisha, she had no thing to do. She opened the 7 doors, and in the first time she went out in the dark night, she spotted a fire glowing somewhere that seemed not far away. She kept walking for a long time until she reached a hut. When she closed to the door it's opened if on a cord, and her eyes fell on old rule. You know what does mean the rule? It's yeah, you know what does mean the rule. So he was using a donkey's head like a chair, and he was using a donkey's intestine warping around his head like a turban, and he was using a large black boat with the donkey's leg storing. Aisha froze up in the spot in panic, and her tongue stuck in her wallet. The ghoul started straight at her. "What do you want?" he demanded, in his grumbling tone. When she could not reply, he repeated his question with more menace. "I need fire, Uncle Ghoul." "Oh, so that's what you have come for?" "Certainly, you can have some." With that, he selected a few embers and laid them on a zinc plate and handed it. As she came close, he scratched her soft arm with his sharp gloves, as though by accident. Aisha, she whispered her thanks and started walking back home. After a little bit time, the ghoul went out and he started sniffed on the ground. He followed the scent of the blood and he searched where Aisha was living until he found her house. He knocked on the door and waited, licking his lips. Aisha, when she heard the knock, she imagined her brother had returned, and she took heart. "Who is it?" she asked. "Oh, Aisha, dear heart, open the door for me." She felt numb, and she did not open the door. "Oh, Uncle Ghoul! Aisha, tell me, how did you find me sitting?" "Oh, Uncle Ghoul, you were sitting on a chair of gold." "And what was on my head?" "A silk turban." "And what was I doing?" "Stirring soup." "With what?" "With a silver spoon." The ghoul was flattered. He only knocked the first door down and he went away satisfied. So, thus every night at the same hour he came back and asked Aisha the same question, and Aisha gave him the same answer. But every night he broke one door. On seventh day, she was in a real trouble because she has one door left. She was beside herself. When his visiting hour drew near, her heart starts beating and beating like the drum of fate. And she looked at the cat, but there is nothing to do with the cat. And Aisha started to blame her brothers, and she said, "If they don't go, there's no something to happen to me." At that time, she heard a footstep, and almost her heart stopped beating. She tried holding her heartbeats to listen carefully, but her heartbeats defied her ears to listen. What was written, and she could do nothing to alter her fate. Suddenly, she heard some voices. It sounded like her brother's voices. So she came close to the door and listening. She could clearly make out her brothers talking among themselves, expressing their shock at the discovery of 6 broken doors. They had just returned from their journey. So they knocked cautiously on the door, not knowing what they would find. Aisha reached to open it with joy, and she felt in their arm, crying. The two were extremely delighted that she's still alive. When she remembered that almost time for the ghoul's visit, she started thinking fast. She locked the door and told her brothers what had happened in just a matter of minutes. So the seven brothers moved fast. They immediately dug a large hole beneath the door and covered it with the hay, and stood inside. Aisha stood among with her 7 brothers, enjoying their protection. At that moment, the ghoul came and knocked at the last door down. "Oh, Aisha, dear heart, What was I sitting on? A donkey's head. Now she replied with a defiant tone. What was in my head? In my head, a turban made from a donkey's bowel. What was I doing? Stirring rotting water. With what? With a donkey's leg. The whole he became very angry, and with the last one he charged with all his might, and he stepped back and he ran, and the door fell open, and he fell right into the hall. The seven brothers dropped the firewood over him and stood gathering the hall, and Aisha watched with triumph and delighted. As the whole where he's dying, he stuck his arm out from the middle of Ember and shook his hand toward Aisha. Remember, Aisha, you shall die at my hand. When the flames swallowed him, she simply gave in a mocking laugh. Several years ago, when the whole was almost completely forgotten, Aisha was sitting on the roof of the house watching her brother working by near in the flood. That Minush had died of old age, and Isha was greasing her hair with olive oil and cabinets as she singing to herself. A shadow came between her and the sun. She looking up, she saw a raven. He hovered around her, and he landed on the ground and started searching for food. He went in digging until he found where the hole had burned and was buried. And he found a bone. He picked the bone from with his beak and flew over her head. The raven, the bone slipped from the raven's beak, and he felt like an arrow, and he broke her head, and she dropped dead on the spots. And ladies and gentlemen, this is my story.
A very happy ending, Brahim.
I was not
Very
expecting that.
Sometimes the story don't need to be that really happy.
Yes.
We need some change.
So
Oh,
this was like a demon, wasn't it?
yeah, it's not a demon.
Not a demon.
It's not a ghost. It's not a ghost. It's not. It's something real big, but he has the horn and he has that different face. You know that the Beauty and the Beast. Did you? It's like that. It's like that.
I see. Well, some sort of Arabic troll, let's call it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
Simona, did you like the story?
I did, and when Brahim said, "Oh, you will die at my hand," I was thinking, how can she die at his hand? And then many years later, I was like, "Oh no, something's going to happen, something's going to happen," and I was not expecting. I thought, oh, maybe he survived in the hole because he's this supernatural creature, so maybe he survived, and now the raven will open the hole and he'll come out, and something bad happens. And I was thinking maybe the brothers will save her again, or she will save herself, but no.
And also, all the time we're asking that question, you say, because we need the audience to give us what they think, what they think about the story. Because sometimes I don't want to finish the story because I need them to finish it in their way. Like I have a story, when I tell the story, I ask them the question, if you are in this situation, what are you going to do?
Brahim, I really liked, for example, because I switched my part of my thoughts when you said, for example, that Aisha laughed mockingly. So I was like, so maybe Aisha's not that good, and something bad is going to happen to her.
Because she think she's making something like I beat you, like and
Hear another story, please.
once upon a time there was two brothers. The oldest named Mubarak and the youngest called Masoud. Mubarak, he was very rich person. He has so many properties across the city. But Masoud, he was a really poor, but he's really professional because he has a shop. He making a clay thing like the plates, tagines, so many things. So when time tightened on him and they have nothing to eat to give his family to eat, his wonderful wife, she came and suggested, Masoud, why don't you go to your brother and ask him something to help? He said, because Masoud, he has integrity. He said, I'm not going to ask him anything because one moment from God will indeed change everything. As every believer, we believe God will help us. So back in his shop, and he started thinking, and he saw some clay left in it, and he said, I have to make something, not just the plate and the thing. And thinking, and the idea came as the clay lantern. He made it perfectly, and he think, if I take this lantern to the market, I'm going to sell it for 5 dirham, 10 dirhams. Let me do something. Let me give him to the Sultan. Maybe Sultan can give me something in return. So he dressed nice clothes and he walked to the Sultan's palace. And when he became close to the door, he cried out and said, Hadday, 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 Hadday. That means, I am a gift giver. I am a gift giver. When Sultan heard him, he came out and said, come in, you poor man. What do you want to give? Your Majesty, I bring that lantern for you. It reveals secrets and turn the dark night into brighten days. So the Sultan liked the lantern and give Masoud. How much do you want to give Masoud?
500.
1,000. Yeah, 500. I was more generous.
500,000. Give him as much as you want. Okay, he made Masoud really, really rich in that time. So Masoud thanked the Sultan and he went away. So the new spirit in the city, everyone knows about Masoud and his lantern until the news came to whom? To his brother, Mubarak, the older brother. He told his wife and they became jealous of him. She said, how that your brother gets such rich like that? He said, I have no idea, but tomorrow we will go and visit him. Before time ago, he didn't help his brother or asking him or supporting him in any way. So the next morning, the curious couple, they departed to Masoud's house, who was very generous for them, gave them a lot of food and drinks. And after the feast, Mubarak called Masoud and asked him the question, brother, how do you do that? So, of course, Masoud, he tells his older brother the whole story. When Mubarak and his wife back to their home, his wife said, Mubarak, what do you not to do like your brother, Masoud? How can I? My brother is very professional and he made that lantern and give it to the Sultan. And I am a businessman. Shall I give him money and gold that he has already? She said, "Oh, you man, you are very stupid sometimes." And that's true. Sometimes men's they become really stupid. So, and that's happened to me time to time. So she said, "You are going to make him a golden crown with diamond on it." He heard his wife's idea, and he started selling his thing to make this crown. He sold everything he had, and he became empty-handed again. So he made this crown in a box, and he drew some nice clothes, and he walked to the Sultan's palace, and he entered, "Your Majesty, I brought this crown that's especially crafted for you. I take 40 days and 40 nights to make this crown." So the Sultan, when he saw this crown in this beautiful diamonds, and this man, he seemed very healthy. His cheek, he's beautiful and strong man. He started to think, this man, he gave me this crown. He's really, really rich person. What can I give him? If I give him money, he has. If I give him gold, he has. If I give him land, that he has. Eventually, when he thinking, he looked around in his palace, and his eyes lay on the lantern that Masood given to him. So he picked the lantern and went to him, and he said, "You give me this Quran as a special gift, and I give you the most precious thing in my palace, this lantern." So he thanked the Sultan, and he went away. And he met in the street, he met his brother Masood. Masood, he came to his brother, "Brother, what are you doing here? What's my lantern do with you?" And Umbarks answered with a sad voice, "Oh, brother, you give this lantern to the Sultan, and he give you a lot of money. And I made him a crown, a golden crown with diamond, with beautiful jewelries, but he gave me just only your lantern." And Masood answered with the beautiful smile in his face, "Brother, this is life. One in your hand and the other in mine." And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your listening.
Hey, wow.
Brilliant, brilliant. So,
Thank you guys.
And you very much. It was great having you here with us.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
And we
It's
wish
great to
you
know you.
success and good luck. And may
you.
you have many successful students. May you create
Amin.
many successful storytellers.
Thank you, Despina. I really enjoy this journey with you. Wallah. Thank you so much for you having me with you.